Who would love. So whilst we're just welcoming everybody in, if you want to just put your name and where you are coming from tonight, that would be amazing. I know lots of you are Blossom and Berry teachers, so it's lovely to see you online tonight. And maybe just pop in a word about why you're here tonight. Normally, I say a word to describe how you feel, but tonight it's more like, why are you here? What has spiked your curiosity about being here this evening? Let's have a little look. Charlene from Scotland, welcome. Look. Laura, hi Laura, I'm glad you made it. Amazing. From Northwest England. Anyone else want to pop in where they are? I know we've got quite a few people here tonight. Tracy from Bedfordshire, Lauren from Bexhill. And pop in a word that is the reason why you've decided to spend your valuable time here tonight. Julie from Glastonbury, one of my favourite places in the world. Why you've decided to come along tonight, because I'm really curious, because obviously Nurture Harmonics is something completely new. This is the next phase of parent and baby wellness classes, I believe. As you know, over the last few years, Blossom and Berry has been moving much more into baby wellness in terms of somatic techniques like baby massage, baby yoga, breath and presence. And Nurture Harmonics is an extension of that. So Nurture Harmonics isn't a Blossom and Berry course. It's a sister business to Blossom and Berry, because Blossom and Berry is very earthed, it's very in the body, and Nurture Harmonics is all about the future, which is sound, energy, and vibration. In fact, this isn't the future, it's what's been predicted for over 100 years, that we can actually understand the universe and everything around us in terms of energy, frequency, and sound. So I believe the future is sound. So therefore, I'm bringing a parent and baby wellness classes in alignment with that. And maybe some of you might be here tonight because you've been on a sound journey, you've had sound healing, you've been interested in sound, or you're working with other forms of energy like Reiki, Tai Chi, yoga, any of these modalities where energy is the center of what we're doing. So who else have we got? We've got Becky from Shropshire as well. All right, so let's start tonight just to close our eyes for a moment. Because what I'd love you to do is just have a feel into what it might feel like to run your own Nurture Harmonics class. So if you want to take that moment to just consider closing your eyes, imagine what it would be like to create a beautiful space where there was less rather than more. So moving away from the busyness of life, creating a sanctuary where parents and babies can feel. Just feel. It doesn't matter what they feel, because at a Nurture Harmonics class, everything's welcome. We're moving away from the whole idea that when we're parenting, we need to be something other than ourselves, that we need to fix ourselves, that we need to search for the idea outside of ourselves. So when you walk into a Nurture Harmonics class, it feels like a sanctuary of sound. It's been specially curated with a level of beauty that you wouldn't find in other parent and baby wellness classes. It's a space that's devoted to connection, to community, and to a sense of togetherness. And in that class, there is just a beautiful invitation for parents and babies to join from their heart space, not from their head space, to kind of suspend any idea of what might happen, because every Nurture Harmonics class is going to be different. Because in essence, it's curated live by you every single time that you bring together the instruments that you're going to be offered, layered on top of our beautiful soundscape. So every class is going to be different. And every opportunity to connect with parents is going to be different. Everything that's shared in circle is going to be different. So this type of parent and baby wellness class is about presence. It's about evolving. It's not about having a script or a structure which you have to follow each week. It's not about hours of preparing before your class. It's about simply being here now, and allowing the sound, the magic of sound, the magic of energy, frequency, and vibration to do its work. So just imagining that space and really filling it with beauty, filling it with relaxation, feeling it with spaciousness, feeling it with freedom, and seeing yourself in that relaxed space as almost like the conductor of everything that's happening in there. Whether it's the sound, whether it's the somatics with nurturing touch and breath and presence, because this class is going to be really beautifully softening on your nervous system. As I said, this is not a class that we can even prepare for. We have the structure, we have the foundations, but really we're here to share and to explore the power of energy. So crystallizing that thought in your mind and really seeing it, and turning up the volume on the colors, the sound, the smell, how you feel in that class. Imagine how you're dressed, and allowing that to really feel your body, sharpening that image. And then seeing yourself stepping into that with confidence as a pioneer, as a Nurture Harmonics pioneer, being part of this future new wave of parent and baby wellness. And feeling how that makes you feel in your body, feeling the love, the joy, the creativity, the spaciousness, the freedom, hearing all of the comments from the people attending your class saying how amazing it is, how unusual the class has been, how they've really dropped into their heart space, how relaxing they found it, giving you so much positive feedback about how this class is really different. This class is about being rather than doing. It's about the heart rather than the head, and really hearing that and feeling that warmth and gratitude inside from receiving that from this beautiful space that you've created. And now allowing that image now to just become a little bit blurry, like a mist, just covering over and slowly starting to disappear. And then coming back here into this moment now. And I hope you could feel and see that. As I was describing the class to you, I was thinking of my own Nurture Harmonics workshops that I've run, where this has been the sense of the class. It's definitely something completely new. It's something very refreshing for parents and babies. It's about a full nurturing experience, not only with sound, but with somatics. So that's being in the body through our felt senses, and with circle as well. So a deeper sense of sharing, more authentic sharing from the heart, rather than kind of instructing or educating. It's about being together and knowing that everyone who comes to a Nurture Harmonics class is part of this constellation that's always perfect. There's always someone sharing something in there from their heart, which they want to release and for someone else to receive. And then we weave all of that together to create this safe space where people can really open up at a much deeper level. Obviously, sound also takes us to that place, because sound is pure energy and vibration. It's just absorbed within the body and actually affects our cells at the sort of atomic level. So that's why sound is so powerful, because just by using sound we can adjust our energetic frequencies within the body. And of course, somatics, if you've trained with Blossom and Berry, you'll know about the power of nurturing touch, you'll know about the power of movement, about breath, about presence. All of that is combined as well. So Nurture Harmonics as a whole brings together these three important pillars, which is somatic practices, sound, and circle. So that's the three things that we focus on. And as I said, visualizing my class, the main feedback that I had from the parents coming in was that they'd never been to a class where they've actually been able to relax that deeply with their baby. Because normally when you come into a class, you're worried about doing this, doing that, keeping up. Is your baby crying? Is your baby fitting in? Comparing yourself to other parents. You might be having conversation, but it might feel a little bit superficial. Well, Nurture Harmonics is about dropping in deep into the body, into authentic sharing, and into that moment so that it's fully experienced when the parents finished the session at the end, they literally felt energetically different. And there was lots of tears actually, and there was lots of tenderness that came up in the class, which I think again is kind of missing in the busyness of a lot of parent and baby wellness classes. So I hope you had that sense for yourself when you imagined what your class would be. So I want to share with you tonight a little bit about what we cover in Nurture Harmonics to see if it's in alignment with where you want to go, and also to give you the opportunity to actually experience the sound journey yourself. And I can explain how that's all been put together, because this is something very specific and bespoke to Nurture Harmonics that I had curated because I wanted to create the perfect sound journey for parents and babies. And I'll also be open at the end for any questions, because I'm sure potentially you might be thinking, how do you curate a sound journey when there's babies present? Because obviously, if you've trained with me at Blossom and Berry, you will know that we always put babies first. We always respond to babies' needs. So what do we do if babies don't necessarily want to go into a sound journey? How do we navigate that space so that we still provide beautiful value and experience for parents and babies? So I'll be able to explain all of that. And from my own lived experience of teaching Nurture Harmonics and the other teachers that have already been trained by me, the feedback from these classes has been incredible. It's really something very special. And the more that I'm teaching and the more that I'm training others, I'm taking this to the baby show. I'm taking this to other kind of more I'd say like more well-being spaces like gyms, Soho House, membership clubs that are looking for something a little bit different beyond baby massage and yoga. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to share my screen with you, because I have prepared a little slideshow, which is normally I talk from the heart when I'm doing my presentations at Blossom and Berry, but because Nurture Harmonics is new, there is more to cover. And I want to really give you this opportunity to see if this is for you, because it may be or it may not be. It completely depends on what you're looking for right now, how familiar you are with sound, whether this is your passion, whether you want to be involved in this next wave of parent and baby classes and be a pioneer. So I want to go through this with you in a little bit more detail so that you can have that confidence. And as I said, experience the classes and ask any questions too. So what do I feel is the challenge in parent and baby wellness classes right now? Well, having taught thousands of parents and babies over the last 23 years through baby massage and baby yoga classes, there are a lot of things that I've observed in parent and baby wellness spaces or parent and baby classes. One thing is that parents generally, I believe, feel very overwhelmed and isolated right now. Overwhelmed by the amount of information there is instructing us and telling us how to parent. It's so noisy that it's very difficult to hear your own voice as a parent. With social media, different books, different gurus, advice from professionals, it can feel very confusing and you can feel quite lost. Now, alongside that, there's also a sense of isolation, because we're not gathering in groups as much as we would have done, say, 20, 30 years ago. We tend to do things more on our own now. Social media is amazing, and WhatsApp groups are amazing, and online platforms and memberships, I love it. But at the same time, it's easy to get lost within that online world and forget that as human beings, we're hardwired to connect. We're meant to come together to actually self-regulate our nervous systems through co-regulation of communal activities, whether it's playing together, singing together, eating together, talking together. All of these things, we actually need them as mammals. Although we're humans, we're mammals, and that's how mammals actually regulate, through coming together in social groups. So because of this, there's always a need and a demand to rebuild the village, to create community, because this is where the power lies when we come together from the me, where we're trying to work everything out on our own, to the we. I also think, though, that even in parent and baby classes, there can be a sense of overwhelm and isolation. I know for a fact that I went to many classes when I had my children, and there was just so much going on. I had to like read words of songs, I was trying to remember actions, I was trying to make sure that Emily, my daughter, was okay. I was trying to smile at parents. I was thinking if I put the bought the ticket for my car that I'm in the parking in the car park, it was there was just a lot of overwhelm. I didn't have a sense of walking into a space where I was truly seen and heard, where I was truly nurtured, and where I had a sense of peace and relaxation. Sometimes I would leave a class feeling more buzzed up and more like overstimulated. That was my nervous system, let alone my baby's nervous system, which is very, very sensitive. So there's a lot going on. And also, you can leave those classes feeling quite isolated because if you've gone and there's something big on your heart, like you're struggling with something, or you want to celebrate something, or you're feeling angry and resentful about something, there's not a lot of space to truly share because there is this sense of politeness or small talk. Well, that also can lead us to have quite repressed feelings and emotions, and when we don't release them, they tend to bubble up, and then we project them out, whether it's to our babies and or our relationships as well. So the way that even parent and baby classes are structured now, I feel there is a sense of not having a true village or a community. And obviously, with Blossom and Berry classes, this is what we try to do. And Nurture Harmonics is a step even further on from that. Also, babies can be very overstimulated, generally by screens, which are on the rise, even for very small babies, but also within classes with a number of activities that are going on with, flashing lights, with neon lights, with parachutes, with different music. Lots of different things happening. That is quite a lot for baby's nervous system to process. If you've trained with Blossom and Berry, you'll know about tree babies, which is all about taking babies outside. And in that environment, there's the perfect mix of sensory integration through baby's felt senses from nature, which is perfectly designed to help our nervous systems to relax and recalibrate. With Nurture Harmonics, again, you're creating this safe space of sound where there's nothing to do. This is about receiving from sound. It's about recalibrating your nervous system simply by allowing yourself to be there and to receive that. So it's a very beautiful class in that it sets that vibration of not doing. And from a very, very from a world of very high levels of busyness for mothers, I feel coming to this safe space, to this sanctuary of sound, is absolutely transformational. And that's what I've been told by my clients who come along to those sessions with me. And there's also quite few holistic offers out there for families. Obviously, if you train with Blossom and Berry, you'll know we focus on somatic practices like massage, nurturing touch, movement, and gentle nurture play, which is less kind of stimulating than developmental play. But there is less for parents because we know from science that babies rely on parents' nervous system to actually regulate their own. And this is where our mantra, love creates love, comes from Blossom and Berry, is that if a parent feels regulated and calm and is able to feel balance within, is able to release their emotions so that they can be this beautiful mirror of peace and calm for babies, then that's how babies will experience the world, and that's what their nervous systems will look like, because babies literally are borrowing their nervous system of their parents to regulate their own and to understand the world through a parent's facial expressions, tone of voice, how they hold their body, that even the depth of their breath. Babies are picking up on all of these things because they navigate the world through their felt senses. So there's not so much around this emotional regulation, about this understanding of somatics for babies, about this understanding that less is more for babies. We actually have the most perfectly optimized environment for babies through our body connecting with baby. We have everything that actually helps babies feel safe, accepted, and connected. We don't need to go outside and do lots of different activities. We've got everything within. So that is the challenge now, is to move from this place of doing and fixing and thinking that we need to educate babies on how to reach their full potential, rather than just holding a beautiful space for babies to blossom and grow simply through a place of love, peace, and happiness. So that's the challenge that Nurture Harmonics is hoping to overcome in our classes and what we offer. And the possibility that Nurture Harmonics offers is this ability to regulate the nervous system through somatic practices. So I'm talking a lot about somatics. If you've never heard this word before, somatic means from within the body. So that means practices that regulate your nervous system that are related to touch, to sound, to smell, to your sense of through movement, through breath. All of these different aspects regulate our nervous system. When we want to really feel calm and contented within, we have to find the way to regulate the nervous system from within. When we look outside to regulate our nervous system with habits and behaviors, it can be subtle things like scrolling on your phone. It could be going out and buying things. It could be seeking validation from other people. Could be even things like alcohol, drugs, all of these different things that we do, that we look to try to regulate the nervous system from outside of ourselves. The power of nervous system regulation is just within. And we've been given the gift of this somatic regulation, as I said, as human beings, through interaction with other human beings, and also through understanding that the power exists within our body. So we can release any kind of stress and tension from within the body with these fundamental tools that we've been given to be able to touch and to stroke and to caress ourselves, to hug ourselves, to squeeze ourselves. This helps to create oxytocin and regulate the levels of stress hormone in the body. Shaking and moving, that also helps to regulate what's going on in the body. Getting rid of tension and stress so that we can come back to a state of equilibrium. The breath is probably the most powerful way to regulate the body, because it goes directly into what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, which is our part of our nervous system that is rest and digest, opposed to the sympathetic nervous system, which is fight or flight. When we take deep breaths, we go directly into the parasympathetic nervous system and we tell the body it's safe. We can start to then, support digestion, support the immune system, lower the heart rate, decrease our breath, all of these different things that brings us back into a state of relaxation. So the possibility through Nurture Harmonics is to create this bubble where this happens with ease through the practice of somatics and sound. And somatics also creates bonding and calm, because, as I said, as a parent's nervous system is regulated, so is a baby's. So if we want to teach babies how to feel calm and safe and present, we have to be calm, safe, and present, because everything's a mirror. We can't expect babies or children to, sit still or be creative or express their feelings or any of these things that we kind of feel, maybe a human being in their full power would have. If we ourselves can't do it, if we're scrolling on phones, if we're not being present, if we're not moving our bodies, if we're not actually taking time out for ourselves, we can't expect our babies to do this, because babies don't become what we say or do, they become who we are. And so in Nurture Harmonics, it's about really anchoring in this sense of, I can regulate my own nervous system, I have the power to do this, and I can also reach out to others in community to co-regulate through sharing in spaces where there's a safe circle to do so. And this connection, it builds resilience so that when things arise, whether it's between parent and baby relationship or between a parent and another parent, there's a place to go. There's a way to regulate, which allows us to navigate the harder challenges in life and to understand that we're always growing and expanding through experiences in the world. That's the only thing that we can know, is that we're going to have new experiences every day. So, how can we equip ourselves for this? Well, it's by having a really well regulated nervous system as a parent, and then we pass that on to babies. So, what is Nurture Harmonics? It's a pioneering baby class, and it focuses, as I said, the three pillars are somatics. So, we look at nurturing touch, we look at breath work, we look at movement, we look at presence, and we look at stillness through somatics. Then we have the curated sound journey. So I'm going to play this to you in a moment, but just to give you an idea of how that came into life. So I wanted to create a sound journey that was perfectly attuned to what babies needed. So I did a lot of research on the ideal frequencies, the ideal types of noise. You might have heard of white noise, but there's pink noise, there's green noise, there's even brown noise. I looked at what other types of frequencies do babies find relaxing, that help them to put them into a state of harmony. That's why it's called Nurture Harmonics. What's going to bring babies into the present moment and allow them to receive. So I worked with an amazing producer called Greg in Ibiza, and with one of my amazing friends, Joe, and we got together and we put together everything that we'd researched about what makes babies feel grounded, makes babies feel calm. We wanted to make it sound very beautiful as well, so it was lovely to hear. And then Greg and Joe recorded this in Ibiza and created the Nurture Harmonics sound signature soundscape. Now, this is what we use in the class, and it's a very unusual class at Nurture Harmonics because we also gift this to our parents and babies. So in between the classes, they can listen to this as much as they want. So they could listen to it in the morning, at nap time, as they're putting babies to bed, or even in the night if they wake up for night feed. So it's something that connects them in between the classes. It's a bridge because sound can be used every single day. It could actually be on all the time in your home if you wanted it to, because those frequencies have been created to really put you into this calming and relaxed state. So alongside that, there then is this beautiful opportunity to bring your own artistry into the class. So we teach you how to use a number of basic sound instruments that you layer on top of the soundscape. So if you imagine every week you have the soundscape on, one week you may decide, okay, I just want to have the signature soundscape. I don't need to add anything on. And then another week you might decide you want to hum over the top of it, or you want to use kosher chimes, or you want to use a bowl, or you want to use a drum, or you want to use a shaker or a rain stick. So we teach you how to add your own sound over the soundscape. So every single class is your own performance. And some of you might be like, wow, I want to get in there, and I've been thinking about this, and I want to use my bowls, or I want to buy shaker or a drum, or some of you might be amazing singers. It doesn't matter where you are, this is your opportunity to just start with the signature sound journey, and then you can layer on top what you intuitively need, because Nurture Harmonics is a very intuition led class. You can feel, what does this class need? What does this mum and baby, this dad and baby need? What is the vibration of this class today? And so you can use your intuition and your own artistry to layer on top of the signature sound journey what that class needs. So it's your unique sound medicine every time you do a class. And of course, as I said, for those of you who are a little bit at the moment like, oh, I'm not sure, the sound journey, the signature sound journey absolutely does that brings that medicine, and it does that job of creating a perfectly nurturing and peaceful environment for parent and baby to relax. And then the circle aspect, as I mentioned, is all about sharing really authentically the idea that everything's welcome. We don't judge, we're not projecting. Yes, we can chat about what's been going on, obviously, from week to week, but once the circle opens, we have a sharing stick which we pass around the class, and anyone who wants to share what's on their heart can. But there's also more opportunity to actually ask parents to describe how you're feeling, how not what are you doing, what are you thinking, what's happened this week, but what's on your heart today. Share from your heart. And we do that at the beginning of the class and we do that at the end. There's also opportunity to walk around the room and meet people in a much more authentic and deeper way than just kind of like saying hi, my name's Gail and my baby's called Emily. We're really looking to create more authentic relating in this class, and it's magic when it happens. It really truly is. The transformation that you see is incredible. So we use all kinds of different techniques to help you feel more confident in facilitating circle. And of course, you can bring some of these aspects into any other parent and baby wellness class you're doing, because I do believe that it's time now to really create spaces there where people can truly be seen and heard, not transactional spaces, but spaces where relationships really begin and flourish and grow. So we have our unique soundtrack, as I mentioned. We have somatic practices that we do in a kind of love bubble, similar again to the concept that we use at Blossom and Berry if you trained with us. And everything we do in the course is rooted in science. And it's led by love, of course, because it's one of my courses. So in the course, we go into the science of sound, somatics, frequency, energy in detail. So if you don't know anything at all about this, we will literally help you take that very first step into the world of sound. You won't be a sound practitioner at the end of the course, although my incredible sound practitioner teacher, Cherub, is a guest expert on the course, and we've already had some people from Nurture Harmonics go on to do her full training afterwards. But you will understand the principles of sound from a kind of quantum physics point of view, from a historical point of view, from something called cymatics, to understand how energy and frequency affects the body, affects our energy centers. So you're going to learn a lot about the science and history of sound, and also the future of energy and vibration as well. Then we're going to go into all the different somatic practices that you can offer parents and babies, from breath, from movement, from touch. Then we're going to look at lots of different practices to help parents and babies connect, ones that you probably haven't come across before. We're also going to look at how to dress your class. We have a beautiful altar in the centre of our classes so that it becomes, like I said, a sanctuary when people walk into that class and want them to feel the vibration of beauty and devotion. The way that I dress my classes is I have beautiful sheepskins for that wonderful tactile sensation for the babies. I put a white rose on every mat when the mothers come in each week. We have Nurture Harmonic cards which are around the altar that people can pull with different affirmations on. Everything about the class is really centered in a sense of celebration and noticing how beauty can really change the way that we see the world. So all of this is covered inside of the course, and we have incredible guest experts. So this is what I love about this course, is that, as I said, my own teacher, very world famous sound practitioner, Cherub Samson, she's coming in to talk about sound. We've got Fan 2, who's coming in talking about kind of the way that frequencies of sound can be woven together to create transformational change throughout the body. We have Joe, who is the singer on the Nurture Harmonic Soundscape, coming in giving us a singing lesson to help us to use our own voices and activate our own sound. And I have Dory Walker, who has been teaching mantra and Vedic chanting for about 20 years, and she's coming in as a guest expert to do that too. This is the second round currently of Nurture Harmonics. Every time I do the classes and the training, I'll be bringing more guest experts in. So you won't just be learning from me. Obviously, I'm an expert in parent and baby wellness, over 23 years of training people, thousands of people trained around the world, millions of babies touched through Blossom and Berry. So it won't just be through my lens, it will be through the lens of lots of different experts as well. So you're going to get a super rooted educational experience here. I also mentioned a little bit about the love bubble. So again, if you are a Blossom and Berry teacher, you'll be familiar with the love bubble that we talk about creating a sacred space. So the love bubble that we use somatically in every parent and baby, for every parent and baby in a Nurture Harmonics class, is an aspect of nurturing touch over clothes. Movement, again, very easy to do within the class. It's not yoga based, it's just intuitive movement, simple breath work, and also mindfulness, coming into presence with your baby. So that's the kind of the somatic bubble that we create. As I said, this is where the nervous system regulation piece really comes in. And then on top of that, we layer the sound. And then on top of that, we have this outer circle of sharing. So that's really the power in the somatic aspect that we'll be teaching. So I want to share with you now, let's come back. Hello. I want to share with you now a little bit of the sound journey so that you can have a sense in your body. How does this feel? What do I receive from this? And I think it's really important to hear it so that you can feel if it has a resonance with you, because this is what we share. This is the kind of core aspect of the Nurture Harmonics class. So if you want to get comfy to have a little listen to this, I'm going to play about 6 minutes of the soundscape. The full soundscape is 22 minutes and 22 seconds, 2222. You don't have to play the full 22 minutes in your class. You can, again, really judge that depending on what's going on. But I wanted to give you a sense of it tonight with a little 6 minute kind of overview. So getting comfortable, if you want to sit down somewhere where you can hear the sound. But you've also got a little bit of space. It's nice to lie down sometimes. In the classes, we encourage parents to lie down. We give them a beautiful eye mask. We've got blankets to make them really cuddly and snuggly. So whatever feels good for you. So you can truly start to receive the medicine of Nurture Harmonics. Now, I'm going to play this through my Zoom. So I'm just going to find where this is. So this should work when if I can do a little test, if someone's still there who hasn't laid down, yeah, it'd be great if I could just do a little test to make sure that you can actually hear this. If you can hear it in a moment, I'd love for you to just do a little thumbs up or just type something in the box, because I don't want you all be drifting away and the sound's not coming through. So I'm just going to see if you can hear this sound. Amazing. Okay, perfect. So in which case you can find yourself a little space. And if it feels good and safe to do so, you can close your eyes and maybe placing one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And just allowing yourself to connect with your breath for a few moments. And just noticing the rise and fall of your chest. Starting to relax the body, softening the belly, softening the shoulders, softening the jaw. Eyes feeling heavy, connecting with the breath. And opening your energy field to receive the beautiful soundscape. So just bringing your attention back to your body. Perhaps if you felt like you were floating away a little bit with the sound, just becoming aware of your breath, the room, if you're lying down, the floor beneath you or the blanket above you. Taking some deep breaths in through the nose and exhale out of the mouth, just coming back to this moment, here and now. Feeling the sensation in your fingers, in your toes. Slowly starting to come back into a seated position when you're ready. Taking your time. Remembering to keep hydrated. No, we only had a very short time to experience a little bit of the soundscape, but I hope you could feel how powerful it is, the different sounds, the beautiful lyrics, very intuitively channeled by Joe, the nature sounds, all the different layering, which we go into this in a lot of detail in the course, how we put this together and how you can then layer your own sound on top so that you can see on its own it is beautiful, and then with your artistic interpretation of sound on top, you can make each session, each journey very, very different, whether you want to have something more energizing, something that's more relaxing. And many of the people who came on the Nurture Harmonics one day immersion love actually just to be playful and curious about sound and intuitively feel as they were working around the room, what does this person need? Is it something that's a higher frequency? Is it something that's a lower frequency? And really trusting yourself that you can be a channel for this intuitive guidance and this medicine. And it comes from practice. It comes again from turning down the voice in your head that says, am I getting this right or am I getting this wrong? And just allowing yourself to experience how the sound wants to come through you and how you can direct the sound by moving around the space and bringing your own instruments in, or your voice, or whatever feels good. So it's a very beautiful class from that point of view. It's very similar to our Tree Babies class, which again is very intuitive in the way that we run that. So going back to thinking a little bit about the course. So why would you perhaps want to become a Nurture Harmonics teacher? Well, at the moment, this is a pioneering course. We have, at the time of recording this, we have about 20 teachers because we've done our first round of training. That was a very beautiful training because I was able to hear from my students what else would be needed, how to refine the course. And if you've studied with me, you'll know that I'm in my training school, in my courses every single day, always making them better, always listening to what people need. They're co-created so that we create world-class training. Also, at the moment, because of that, we have our founder price, which is a cheaper price than eventually the course will be valued at, which we have at the moment. And a little bit different to some of the other training courses I do, that as part of Nurture Harmonics, you get the soundtrack license. So as I said, you can use this in your classes, you can share it with your parents, you can use it at festivals, workshops, anything where you want to do pop-ups with sound and babies. It's a unique class. It's very interesting in terms of people wanting to try it. And so that's all included. There's so many other resources that are included. We have a journal, we have other Spotify playlists, we have all sorts of different things, and that's all included. And there is a license fee with Nurture Harmonics. It's a small cost every year, but that's to cover the use of the soundtrack license. And also everything that comes in, I actually put it back into the course to keep developing to make it the best it can be. So what I want to do now is I would love just to break you out into a couple of rooms together. And I'd love for you to talk to your partner very briefly, just with 5 minutes. So we'll have 2 minutes each for each person about what it is that you're finding exciting about Nurture Harmonics tonight, and when you join us as a teacher, what is it that is really making you feel like this is what I want to do? What is it you're loving so far about the concept of doing this training? So just 2 minutes for each person. I'm just going to pop you into a group, and I'd love for you to just share from your heart. Also share if there's anything coming up, any challenges, like I'm not sure, is it going to work? Would I be able to do this? Be honest and open, but focus on what it is that you want to achieve. And the other person, whilst they're talking, no interrupting. It's not a conversation. It's a sharing and an active listening, and then swapping over. This is what we do in Nurture Harmonics. We listen. We're not here to judge or give advice, just listening. And then the other person listens, and we just say at the end of the sharing, thank you very much for sharing, and then move on to the other person. Okay, so I'll put you in those rooms now, just 2 minutes each, and then we can get you guys to come back again. So I think we have, let's see, we have 8 people, so I've got 4 breakout rooms for you. So I will pop you all in now, and yeah, just keep an eye on the time, 2 minutes each, and then we'll come back. Okay, so off we go. So we've just got 1 more minute left, and then I'm going to close the rooms. Just make sure everyone's coming back. It's going to take a little bit of time. Okay, everyone's coming back. Amazing. Does anyone want to share in the chat box anything that came up? What's anything that you're excited about becoming a Nurture Harmonics teacher? What is exciting you about this potential training? If you want to put a word or something that describes how you feel right now, I would love to see that. Anything that's on your heart or your mind, anything that you're like, oh yeah, like this is maybe different to what I thought, or I'm excited about bringing this to my community, anything that feels alive. If you want to type it in the box, if anyone has anything to share. Calmness for parent and baby, absolutely. It's definitely such a beautiful honor actually to hold this kind of space, because in the busyness of doing, there's virtually nowhere you can go, especially with a baby. You know, maybe we can go to sound journeys without babies, but why not include them? Why not the type of life that we want to have with our babies by including them from the start? Anything else that came up for anyone from the soundscape? Laura's saying holding a space of serenity for parents and babies. Absolutely. That's really the word that I would use to describe it. And also, as a teacher and a facilitator, this is much more of an artistic expression of holding space, because, as I said, we're just weaving together your own interpretation of sound as it comes in. There's nothing you have to learn of how to do this sound like I'm telling you to. It's using your intuition to actually create that movement and that medicine. It's very empowering as a teacher as well. Judy says, excited about being a pioneer for this and being able to share sound with babies. Absolutely. So I didn't know if anyone had any questions. Becca says, I think it would be very beautiful, somatic and sound so vital for beginnings for parents and babies. Absolutely. So does anyone have any questions about the nitty-gritty of how Nurture Harmonics training works? As I said, within the course, there are modules that you study that have videos. There's a very, very extensive a module booklet for each of the modules, which covers like the science of sound and somatics, and then actually what we do in a class. There's class plans, there's live videos from classes, so you can see what it is that I've offered. That's just my particular classes. There's lots of masterclasses on how to hold space for parents and babies. lots of different types of exercises. So if you imagine I've taken you on a journey where if you know nothing about somatic practices and sound or holding space, by the time you go through the course, you will have experienced it through lots of self-reflective questions. There aren't any case studies with Nurture Harmonics. It's a very internal process of you creating a relationship with your own body through somatic practices with sound. And also the way the course is held, it's a very beautiful circle. So we have a WhatsApp group for everyone who's on the course, and it's very active, and everyone's sharing because we're all pioneers. There's lots of ideas about have you seen this, have you seen that? So it's very nurturing. It's very intimate as well because at the moment we're here to just offer our first few trainings. So here you're one of the ones at the beginning who's actually leading this practice. So we're all kind of coming together to share. If anyone finds something, it goes into the group. So it's very active. It feels like a beautiful family environment. So it's all in there. In order to pass, there's lots of self-reflective questions. So if you like journaling, it's more around journaling. There's some great books on our reading list. Lots of great books. You can keep reading and reading and reading. Lots of different experiences of sound, as I said, through our guest experts and through curated Spotify playlists that I give to you. So it's very experiential learning. It's not an academic exercise. It's the opportunity to actually activate that relationship with sound within yourself, and from that place share it. So it's embodiment. This is what this course is about. It's about feeling, it's about experiencing, it's about practicing, and it's about opening to this new version of you, into this new identity as a Nurture Harmonics teacher. It's all on, is it all online like Tree Baby? So we have courses. The course it starts on Wednesday, and what we do is there's the 6 modules that you study. We have every 2 weeks there's a live with me online. It's about 90 minutes, and I go through and I answer any questions that arise for that module, and I do a little bit of teaching. So it's very much a blended course. So you've got the online material. So when you log in now, you'll see the materials from last time I did the course, and this is how I'll build up the course library for everybody. So people who've already enrolled on the course, they can be studying it already, but then the live sessions with me every 2 weeks really bring it to life. You get to know everybody. If you miss those, they're recorded, but we do encourage you to come along. And then there's one immersion day in December in my hometown in Essex, where you can come and we actually do a full Nurture Harmonics practice day for that day. Now, last time I did it, about 3 people couldn't come, so I record the whole day and then I put it online afterwards. We've got a couple of teachers in America who couldn't come, so it's all recorded if you can't come to that, but there is that invitation if you want to come along. And we had people from all over the country. We had Manchester, Glasgow, Devon, everyone came into Essex and we spent the day together. The recording of that day is also in the course currently, so you can see, you can make that decision whether you have the capacity to travel or whether you'd rather receive the recording of it. Yeah, so that's that. What day is the live? So I believe it is I think it's the 6th or 7th of December. It's that first week of December is the Saturday. So I'm not quite sure off the top of my head. Let me just have a little look on my calendar here whilst I got it in front of me. Yeah, the 6th of December. And as I said, that's optional. It's encouraged, but you don't have to. And we've already got one recording of that already. What have we got here? Judy says, obviously it's sound-based, so how do you manage crying babies to not disrupt the flow? So this is a great question. So whenever I've taught Nurture Harmonics, I have actually found that the babies really settle into it very, very quickly. Now, so the first time I ran the class, I was a bit concerned, like you said, if all the babies are crying at the same time, then that's what is being expressed, but it can mean that it's more difficult for other parents to tune into the flow of the soundscape. So far, we've had babies, communicating. Some babies might be fussing, some babies might be saying, hey, I want to be held in a different way, I want to move for a little bit, I want to be fed. But the parents are really encouraged to just tend to their baby's needs, to put babies first, because when we've got happy babies, we've got happy parents and vice versa. Some parents just completely lie down, eye mask on, blanket on, and their babies are like absolutely away. Other parents not so confident, sitting up, like rocking their babies, moving their babies. If they want to get up and move around, that's absolutely fine. So as long as a parent feels empowered to soothe their baby, however they do that, that's completely up to them. We respect every kind of parenting. We make it very clear at the beginning of the class as well that, do what you want in this space. This space is for you. And we can't guarantee that in every single week, every baby's going to want her to be part of a sound bath. Of course not. So we have the opportunity to use the sound bath at home, um, so that they can listen to it. Baby becomes used to it, relaxing and nurturing time with their parent, which means when we play it in class, it does create that kind of invitation to relax into the space because there is that recognition of the sound and the experience. So we really want to encourage what we do in the class, that sanctuary of sound and space and peace, to be recreated at home. Same when we teach things like baby massage and baby yoga. It's not just for a Tuesday morning at 10 a.m. This is about a choice of how you want to parent, how you bring your values in, how you bring your energy into your relationship. So far, I've not had an experience where a baby's been really kind of upset or overstimulated. But if that happened, I always empower parents to take their own sovereign decision of how to do that. And I'm always available still for everyone else in the class to facilitate it and move through it. I think if you're working with babies, you've got to be aware that babies don't just kind of switch on and off. They're all of the things. And that's part of the joy and sometimes the challenge of trying to create a peaceful, quiet space when babies want to be loud and expressed. But everything's welcome. In every imperfect class, there's perfection, and the other way around as well. So making sure that we see this beforehand, no expectation, no judgment. We allow everything to be as it is. Everything's welcome. We might have a full sound bath today, or we might have to cut it short, or we just do what we want. But in doing that, in actually giving permission for everything, it means that but parents can actually relax into the fact that parenting is everything. Parenting is not one thing. Parenting is not just the smiles and the giggles. Parenting is the late nights and the feeling the frustration and everything like that. So it's not manicured, it's just an invitation to feel safe in whatever arises. That's probably the easiest way to describe it. Do you have details of the bi-weekly training sessions? So what I'm going to do here is I will pop in the Nurture Harmonics page for you so you can have a little look and see. On there you will find all the details of the training, with all the dates that the training is on. As I said, I encourage you to come to as many lives as you can, just because they're fun. And you get to meet people and you get to receive from me, in real time, ask questions in real time. But if you don't make them, they are recorded. And as soon as you enroll into the course, you can see the exact journey that previous students have just been on. It will be similar to that once you log in, but not exactly the same because, of course, it's evolving. And, I'm absolutely open to suggestions for what you guys need to make this course even better. We have social media resources, we have business modules again, we have business plan, we have Spotify playlist, we have the course, the kind of flow of each class. We have the kit list for what you would need to build up to add your own sound instruments to the soundscape. We have a breakdown of all the different frequencies inside of the soundscape. Pretty much thought of everything. Through the last cohort, there wasn't anyone who asked for anything because, as always, I try to be super expansive with the why and the how and the science and the soul and the everything that goes with it. So I'm very proud of this course. Definitely is the next evolution of my work, and I would absolutely love you guys to join me. So, Laura has another last question. How long does the training last in total? So it's going to be a 3-month training. It starts next week and it ends I think the last one is about the 16th of December. So it's a 3 month training. There's 6 live sessions. You study in between. There's short answer questions, journaling, as I said, no case studies. It's really for you to enjoy, absolutely enjoy, and to feel your own way through the material. It's fully insured by Westminster Indemnity Insurance. It's accredited by Blossom and Berry. Yeah, and I think that's the main kind of the main bulk of it. But I'm here. If you need to ask any questions, you can find me in all different ways. I'm sure you know you can DM me on Instagram, you can send me an email, gail@blossomandberry.com. You can send me a WhatsApp through the website. Anything, if you've got any questions, I'd love to help you. And the training, this round of training starts on Wednesday. We already have about 7 people on the course. We've got room probably for about another 5 people now, just because if we do come in person, I want it to be enough space and spaciousness to be able to practice. So I'd love to invite you along on this. The cost of the course, in case you're interested, is £555. It's paid over 3 instalments of 185 over the next 3 months, or you can pay it in full. And then away you go. You can start your classes in January. That would be the perfect time to go. All right, so before I end, anyone got any comments? Anyone want to pop anything in the box about how they're feeling right now? Are you feeling inspired? Are you feeling like curious? Are you feeling, yes, it's a full body yes, I want in? As I said, we've got 5 spaces left at the moment at this particular kind of pioneer price that we have at the moment. Anything on anyone's heart? Have you enjoyed tonight? Did you enjoy the soundscape? Laura says, feeling excited and inspired. Thanks as always, Gail. You're welcome. Thank you for joining me tonight, Laura. Anyone else? Shanksy says, it was lovely. Good, good, good. I think who was on earlier? I think Claire was on earlier. She is on the course. Tracy is on the course as well. You're here. You're on the course already, Tracy, I believe. We're starting on Wednesday. Soundscape was beautiful, amazing, and there's so much more. We also have some other soundscapes as well, which are available for parents to buy, which are more for calming sleep time and soothe time as well. All right, so I'm going to close tonight because we've gone a bit over time. I just want to say thank you from the bottom of my heart. If you want to join us, the link, I put it in the Zoom. As I said, we've got spaces for about 5 more people on the course starting on Wednesday. Love to have you with me. And you'll be starting your classes in January 2026, which is exciting. So yeah, thank you so much. And any questions, do get in touch. All right, lots of love to everybody. Catch you later.